I'm Dr. Jordan Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Unmet desires is something that I see get in the way of really good sex, get in the way of really good connected partnerships where you're more than just a friend, more than just teammates. It's surprising because you might not think about it. When we think about good sex, intimacy, connection, we often think about a tip, a trick, something that we need to do. And in this case, the things that I hear all the time from high achieving, overgiving, people pleasing superwomen is that they feel alone in their relationship. They're not fulfilled. Something's missing. They're anxious, depressed, maybe not sleeping great, have a lot of resentment, not really enjoying sex. So even if you're having it, you're having clitoral orgasms or none at all. I had 2 private clients tell me this week that they were having the checkbox sex, going through the motions, but struggling to stay present and receive. They both had orgasms, but they were just those like kind of meh orgasms. Something else that I hear is, I don't really know why I feel this way. I have so much to be grateful for. Why am I not as happy as I used to be? So your partner probably hasn't touched you in a way that feels good and takes your breath away in what feels like an eternity. They're not calling you as much or texting you. And if they do, it is totally business and efficient. It actually dries me up saying that. I love a good flirt and emoji via text. Maybe your partner stopped planning trips or dates. You feel like it's up to you. They're not present. They're distracted by work, hobbies, video games. This makes you feel unsupported, unloved, anxious, depressed, looking for things to numb or busy yourself with. Deny that this is a problem. They don't seem to see or appreciate everything you do to make their lives work. So you're really starting to question, is this relationship even right for me? Maybe the roommate life, the teammate life, maybe it's as good as it gets. Maybe it's easier to start over with somebody new. And the underlying thing is, why am I not as happy as I used to be? Something is missing. It's a fundamental need to be seen, loved, supported, and connected. Everything that I just mentioned are completely normal things to want in a relationship, like taking out the trash without needing to be asked, because the garbage gets picked up every week. Or because it's full and it needs to go outside. So where does this go wrong? What is missing? Why are our desires not being met? Why are we unfulfilled? Well, one of the reasons that I can tell you, one of the reasons that all of those examples that I just gave have in common are that upsets, conflict in a superwoman relationship specifically. So we're talking about this high achieving, driven, overgiving, people pleasing, a little, we're a little walled off. We try and play it a little safe. We've been hurt in the past. We've had trauma in the past. These upsets, the conflict is met. The unmet desires are caused by 2, sometimes 3 things. There's disconnection. And one of the main causes that I see is uncommunicated desires. So you get the Gottman Institute emails, you save the posts on Instagram from your favorite relationship gurus, promising yourself that you will handle that conflict differently next time. You listen to the podcast, but the same issues in your relationship persist. No matter how much you try and talk about them, you're on the loop. You're having the same fight about your mother or his mother, same fight about why doesn't he do more or support you. No matter how busy you make your calendar, no matter how much you drink, eat, numb, to avoid or ignore it, the problems persist. There's no connection like there used to be. There's no flirting. Not the amount of connected, holy shit sex like there was in the beginning. Keeping your relationship going has become work or transactional, like roommates. It hurts to admit, but something is missing. You feel lonely, unimportant, undesired, and probably resentful because you do so much and they still put their dishes on the counter and not in the dishwasher, or their laundry on the floor and not in the laundry basket. Moms, one way we can break this cycle is with teaching our boys how to care for themselves. We'll prevent a whole generation of women that are burnt out and needing antidepressants and medication. When it comes to uncommunicated desires, there's two fundamental problems that I see in the women I work with. First, they don't know what their desires are. And second, they don't communicate them, or when they are communicated, they're communicated in a way that leaves them feeling more alone and more unseen and unsupported. Let me say more on what you desire, because you probably think that you know what you desire. You've had a lot of success in certain areas of your life or with parenting. Where superwomen struggle with desires the most is in intimate relationship. How do you want your partner to touch, caress, slap your ass, lick your clit? How do you communicate the need of, I am drowning and I need your help, where it actually gets done and you feel supported and they feel like your protector and provider? Generally, what I see when an issue comes up, you automatically jump into superwoman mode. You fix, you overgive. You say you hate to say no or let people down. And you do all of this at the expense of your own needs. When I ask a superwoman what she desires, she says, well, the first thing she does is she goes blank and she cries. This woman has trouble picking which restaurant to go to, what to order off the menu when she gets there. This is not your fault. It's happening for a few reasons. One, if you have feminine burnout. The other is that we have seen generations of superwomen, of women actually in general, self-sacrificing, trained to put our needs second and care for others, focus on meeting everyone else's needs first. And when those are met, then we get to focus on us. Our grandmothers needed to ask our grandfathers for money. This is a patriarchy issue, a societal issue. So if you struggle with desires, I don't want you to beat yourself up, especially desires in this intimate area. And the other response that I get from superwomen when I ask what they desire is she will try and give me the right answer and give me goals. So I want one date per week and he plans half of them. I want sex twice a month because that I think would fix things. I want someone to help out around the house without needing to be repeatedly asked. And even if you have a house manager and a cleaning lady, there are still things that there's still the extras, all of the invisible workload that you do to make everyone's lives work. Back to my point. Those aren't desires. Those are goals. Those are checkbox items. What if you were on the one date per week or on the weekend getaway and you fight the whole time? What if you go on the vacation and you don't have sex and you come back and you're more stressed than when you left because it was like, why did I do all of that work to get away, be away, and it not even feel fulfilling? It was a letdown. What we're really desiring in most of these scenarios is connection, passion, eros. We want to feel pleasure. We want to feel that life force energy. I want the full body orgasm, not just the clitoral need a vibrator kind. So it sounds simple when I say it and when I call it out, right? But it's almost embarrassing for a woman with so much success in other areas to stop and think, holy shit, I really have no idea what I want in the area of love, sex, and intimacy. Because if you did, you wouldn't be feeling this way. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast trying to solve the pleasure problem that you have. Superwomen think, I thought I wanted the house, car, career, vacations, family, but something's missing. So this clearly isn't it. Do you ever have those feelings where you're disappointed and you don't know why? So even after you ask for what you think you want, you say, oh, let's go to this restaurant tonight. You ask for the weekend away. You felt a little underwhelmed on the Christmas holidays, but you pretended you were fine. Something's still missing, and you can't quite put your finger on why you are off, why you're not as happy as you think you should be in those scenarios, because you have so much to be happy and grateful for. These are all signs of a desire problem. And then, even when we know what we want, like truly what we desire would make us feel alive, fulfilled, seen, cared for, we need to be able to access the desire in real time and communicate it. Sounds simple, but there's lots to do here. For generations of self-abandonment in women, by being raised by women that modeled this for us, what about those of us who grew up in homes where mom's emotions were the only ones that counted? And we should be grateful to have her as a mother, or everyone walked on eggshells because of dad's drinking or moods. We were only shown love by shrinking and achieving to make them look good. I work with women, extremely successful women, one-on-one for this stuff all the time. What do I want? How do I ask for it? And then how can I let down all of my walls to receive it? So we are recognizing that we aren't good at knowing our desires. We're oftentimes not even communicating them because we don't know them ourselves. And that leaves you feeling unfulfilled. And that leaves your partner feeling like, well, what the fuck? I gave her what she wanted. Why is she still not happy? Yes, I can't please her. Guess I'm never going to make her happy. Might as well stop trying. And then, you know what? I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to tell you the applesauce story from this past weekend. So caring for sick kids, partner and I start to not feel so great either. We got a gastro thing going through the house, and we're running low on supplies. The foods that children should eat when they have a gastro bug, or anyone really, but the brat diet. So we were running low on bread and applesauce. As any good superwoman would do, I am thinking and planning, thinking 10 steps ahead. I would like to have some applesauce left over for tomorrow in case I'm too sick to go to the store. My childcare was canceled last minute on a Sunday, same gastro issues as we were having. So I was trying to plan, how do I work, have a sick toddler at home, and not also have to go for groceries? Then cue dad doing his best, went to give the kids the last of the applesauce, and I snapped. He got defensive. I realized that I had not communicated my desire, which was to not also have to go and do groceries tomorrow. By mentioning the desire that I had and the overwhelm that I was feeling about juggling all of those things, crisis was averted and connection was restored. So super simple example, but it was a desire that I had not properly communicated. How we deliver these communications is key. You're going to end up feeling closer or further away. It's one of two things. And in most relationships, people feel further and further away over time. That same issue keeps repeating itself, same fights you're having, or the fights that you have feel like they go around in circles and they don't get anywhere. The root of the issue is never uncovered. And it just turns into a blame, shame spiral. When conflicts occur and we are unable to determine our desires, communicate them effectively, we start to see our partner as the enemy. And start feeling like there's something we need to fix. It's you versus me, and we're accusing and blaming and criticizing, and we're going around in a circle, and we are not actually getting to the root of it and not connecting. We start to think, if only he would, he doesn't. Well, his mom, and there's some story from the past about why he is the way he is. And maybe I don't believe it. He just did X again. So there's all this story, there's all this repetition. If you're sick of it, the expectations, the disappointments, the undelivered communication, the unmet desires, the resentment, nothing truly feeling resolved, or just sweeping it under the rug until the next time someone trips over it, there is a better way. Learning to communicate from the feminine. So our two fundamental problems when it comes to unmet desires: not knowing what your desires are and not knowing how to communicate them. So I know you manage teams of people, or you employ people, you save lives, you sit on boards, the effective tools that you have in communicating. You've probably even done some communication training in your life. But what has worked in the boardroom is not what's going to work in the bedroom and an intimate partnership. At least it's not going to get you the connection that you desire. It's going to get you feeling like CEO and your partner feeling like assistant, or you feeling like mother and your partner feeling like child. These dynamics are not sexy for most people. So when we communicate from the feminine, we return to the experience of partnership. You and me as team, you and me as us together, tackling the problem together. There are less arguments. You feel connected, wanting to be in each other's company. You feel supported and cared for. Your partner feels amazing because he's meeting your needs. You're asking, he's protecting and providing, what men are wired to do. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.